So I had a couple research friends that I gave them the general location and asked them if they would go out and get an exact fix on it, which they did. And the little town that it's near, the village of Monroe, is absolutely kind of a bizarre. It's like something out of a horror movie, the way the people act in that little village. And the police that they talked to, there were a couple of policemen that told them that they had been warned, that there's certain things that you're to leave untouched. Like this one policeman came across a whole carload of kids that were being taken to the castle, and his superiors told him to forget about it, and not look into it. Just a lot of strange things.
Fritz, have you heard the news recently about the Saxe-Coburg's castle digging up bodies?
I heard about the castle, but just very little. Can you mention about it?
Well, in the mainstream, the Saxe-Coburgs, of course, for the listeners, is the Windsor household, the British royals. And their holiday residence is Balmoral in Scotland. And apparently a body was turned up, and now I believe another body's been turned up. So we could be talking about satanic rituals again.
Yeah, dead bodies.
Yeah, but obviously they want to distance the royal family from these bodies by saying there's a lot of people actually live on the land as well.
Well, some of these places have human hunts. Like here at the Mother of Darkness Castle, they would sometimes have these places where these hunts where they turn people loose, and then these people are hunted.
Exactly. Yeah, we saw that in predictive programming in the films like Hard Target, the Jean-Claude Van Damme one, where they basically take poor people, offer them an incentive. Here's $10,000 if you can go from point A to point B without being, intercepted, and then they'd go out and hunt them down.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
So. There are lots of
some of the people that have been chased in those hunts have talked with me. So, I've gotten it firsthand from my witnesses that were on the victim side of it.
Yeah.
The hunted side of it.
So,
yeah, I mean, this has been a recurring theme through various horror films. And you're just wondering whether they're actually exposing the real truth through these fictions.
I think so. I think absolutely. I mean, that's what I would...
Yeah, a lot of times...
Go ahead, Fritz. I'm sorry.
Oh, well, it's a strange world. What they say is that when they show something as historical or truth, a lot of times it's fiction. And when they show something as fiction, a lot of times there's a lot of truth in it.
Yeah, like the U2 line. Fact is fiction and TV is reality.
Fritz, a lot of people kept asking me to ask you this question, so I'm gonna, what is your take on all the UFO stuff? Do you think it's like fallen angels, or what is your take on this whole UFO thing?
Well, most of the genuine side of the phenomenon are government craft. And you'll find the U.S. government and the Illuminati are on both sides of the issue. Again, it's controlled conflict which have muddied the waters. But they did a good disinformation campaign back after World War II in associating aliens with UFOs. So when people heard the word UFO, they thought about little green men and aliens. They didn't think about, this is a secret government project.
Yeah.
The U.S. government had flying saucers since the early 50s. These are anti-gravity craft. They've gone through many generations of using different technologies and generations of equipment, but they've kept all of this secret, and they've been using these flying saucers, which give them incredible capabilities as far as transportation.
Also, the Nazis, didn't the Nazis also were working on UFOs and had top secret stuff?
Yes, they did.
Yeah, they flying saucers were being worked on before the U.S. government.
Mm-hmm.
There's a good book documenting from 3D documentation, and for someone who people like to bite their teeth into good, strong documentation. A guy named Henry Stevens wrote Hitler's Flying Saucers, the guide to German flying disc of World War II. He doesn't get off and say, okay, I had this dream, or somebody who's channeling told me this. He actually goes and interviewed eyewitnesses, dug up old documents, and the book is very, very well written, based on real, genuine documentation. So the Foo Fighters that the Nazis had, that the Americans were calling Foo Fighters, they weren't able to help the German war effort in fighting, because the Germans hadn't developed weapons to take advantage of the flying saucer's incredible speed.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Thank you. You answered.
Thank you so much. And we have another caller. This is who's calling? You're on the air with We Are
Hey,
Change
Howard,
with Fritz
it's,
Springmeier.
Matt.
Benny, how you guys doing? It's Jim.
Oh.
Okay, Jim,
Oh,
Vinny,
Jim.
and Mike. Okay, we got all three is on there. Okay. All right.
Guys, I have one question for Fritz.
Go ahead.
What do you take on Bush and Obama, the relations between them? The New England Ancestral, I don't know what the full name is, but the New England Ancestral Organization, I think maybe Society, they actually printed out some information pertaining to Obama and Bush being related by 11 cousins once removed. What is your take on that?
Yeah. Well, yeah, they're they are 11th cousins or whatever. Obama does tie back into these bloodlines, and that's come out. That's become public knowledge in recent times.
Yeah, through his mother's side, Stanley and Dunham.
That's right.
Is where the bloodline comes through. The mom was 8th generational paternal grandfather to Jonathan Singletary Dunham. I guess that's their connection to Edward I.
Oh, very interesting. That's excellent. And Dick Cheney, and their cousins.
Yeah.
Yeah, it all makes sense. Now, if everyone knows this, if we could spread this information, come on, this is like, it's like, talk about nepotism, it's beyond nepotism, right? I mean, forget about the evil, just like, look at this, it's like, there is no real, you can't become president. It says anybody that's 35 years old can become president, that's been natural born. Well, let's not go with the natural born thing now. But it's just a very sad thing, everybody out there. Anybody got another question for Fritz? Who's next?
I don't mean to interrupt if anyone else is going to jump in. Hi, Howard. It's Matt.
Hey, Matt. This is Matt from New York Change, Connecticut.
Yeah, it's We Are Exchange, Matt. The guy who always calls in. Mr. Springmeier, I was going to ask a more generic question, a little off topic. Would you say that in the point of view, from your point of view, from your educated opinion, that the worldview that the elites, and more specifically the Illuminati members, get comes from a sense of observation in the sense that they're being raised, obviously by their parents who have that worldview, or is it more spoon-fed, direct education from a very early age into that kind of like the cultic personality, very high upper echelon type personality?
When you're born into an Illuminati bloodline, at a very young age, they get you involved in rituals, and you're told the secret history of your family and how important it is, and that you need to live up to the traditions and the family heritage. And so the person is endeavoring to uphold this tradition, and so they're inculcated with this whole tradition. It's just like when you grow up as an American, you're told what your heritage is. We've got the Declaration of Independence, and we've got the Liberty Bell, and we've got these things. Well, they're raised up and told the icons and the different things about their family, but they keep that all of those traditions secret. They don't tell the world about this, but they're born into that tradition, and that shapes their worldview. And then the things that they are forced to do. You can't do something in the here and now without it having spiritual ramifications. For instance, if somebody murders another person, that is a physical act, but it also carries with it spiritual connotations. So a lot of the things that they are forced to do change their spiritual perspective. And when you develop a certain spiritual perspective, you start seeing the world through that perspective. And that shapes your thinking. And then there are day-to-day activities where they're led to think that the world revolves around them and their power. These all shape their worldview.
That's exactly right. I just want to interject. It's amazing because there's a show on television on Showtime or one of these things called Spartacus, right? Where they're doing ritualistic murder, and they're like sensationalizing it, and all this stuff, and the slaves and the gladiators and the violence. It's all this metaphorical messages. I've watched the show.
Hello?
Hi, you're on the air with Howard Nima and Vinnybdatruth, and We Are Change, and the great Fritz Springmeier. So, Fritz, I just wanted to talk to you. Did you ever see that by any chance? Have you ever taken
No.
Or know of the show?
I did. I know that there's been a number of shows showing gladiators. It's one of the things that they seem to be
they love that.
externalizing.
Yeah. The slaves and the the characters are like literally they embrace their servitude like Aldous Huxley. They embrace their servitude. It's just incredible. They show it to be sexy to be a slave. I'm not kidding. They show it's sexy to be a slave.
Who called?
All right, who's our next caller there?
Hey guys, it's Alec. How you doing, Howard?
Alec, how are you?
All right.
Okay, we got the whole We Are Change community calling in here. All right.
Yeah, We Are Change Connecticut, man. Fritz, I just want to start off by saying, you're not alone in your fight. I'm sure you know that. There's so much I wanted to say. I have one main question, honestly, I want to ask you, because I've followed your work for about 6-7 years now. I'm sure when you went away as a political prisoner, I don't think the web is what it is today. It wasn't, and I don't think you know how many lives you really have touched. And just to tell you that, I'm all the way across the other side of the coast, and I feel like you're a personal family. I feel like someone who I look up to as a new role model, as a real role model, to try to show people exactly what's going on.